and the place is at the ICA office. So if you are Singaporean, you know when you are 50 years old and you are in ICA office, the only thing you are going to get is your pink IC. Okay. So I was like going to the normal way, going to my office, going to ICA office, facing the ICA officer. So I get my IC. There's a different thing about my IC. So I will check my IC. Race, Chinese. So I got a shock of my life and reality struck me like a punching guy hit me at the face. So I decided to call my father. Pop, yeah, I think they put my race wrong. Is it Chinese or Malay? Then my father replied, Hakim, your race is Chinese. Then I was like shocked for 1 minute and I decided to ask the ICA officer again, ma'am, because it's a lady, do you think that my IC is really Chinese? Then she said, then she tried to check down like, then she said, oh yeah, your system said that your race is Chinese. So okay, because all this while I didn't know I was quarter Chinese. Turns out like my grandfather was a Chinese, but he didn't speak any Mandarin. He only speak English and Malay. So, ladies and gentlemen, President, Toastmasters, and distinguished guests, my project 3 is Peranakkan. So, So, turns out my grandfather was Peranakan Chinese. So anyone knows about Peranakan? What is Peranakan? Okay, so courtesy from Wikipedia, Peranakan Chinese is a Chinese descendant immigrants that came from 15th century to 17th century to Malaysia. Before that called Malaya. Yeah, so these Chinese immigrants that came during 15th centuries, they settled down to Malacca and adapt their culture. So before I tell you a very boring story about how the Chinese immigrant comes to Malacca, I will tell you a story about how the origins of Peranakan. Okay, so there's two nations. One nation called China. So that time during the 15th centuries, they are a powerful nation that is doing business throughout Asia. So their main trade is silk. And for the next nation is Malacca. So Malacca, during 15th century, their main trade is spice. So they do a lot of trading and do a bilateral trades. However, the Chinese king from China wants more. So he decided to, I'm not sure going to say sell away, but he matchmake one of his daughter, a princess, to the Malacca king. So the Chinese princess will leave the country to marry the Malacca king. So of course, as a king, you always accept a new wife. It's a natural selection. So in terms of like royalty, the princess always have their followers. Okay, then these followers will follow this princess come to Malacca. So that is where that's how Peranakan was born, because the Chinese descendants that migrated to Malacca adapt their culture there. Okay, next one is moving on, fast forward to the colonial times, British time. The Peranakan usually act as a middleman, and because they know how to speak Malay and English, so they will be the middleman with the British and the local Malays. So they will be the one do the deals. So they will make a deal with the British guy, and after that they have a deal, they will move to the Malays who have the resources and spice to like negotiate. So they actually really act as a middleman for these two races to trade in Malacca. Then other than that, they own business from coffee all the way to houses and properties where they rent out to all the immigrants. So most of the most of the Peranakan people are usually business owners and middlemen. So most of the successful one, for example, Tan Tock Seng. Who knows Tan Tock Seng? Wow. was actually Peranakan. So most of these people who is really successful will come down to Singapore and set up shop. That is where Tan Tock Seng is flourished in Singapore and Peranakan came about in Singapore. And next, I will talk about languages. Most of their languages, they usually mainly speak English, Hokkien, and Malay. That is why until when I was like 15 years old, that I knew of that my grandfather is Peranakan because he can speak Malay and English. But however, Hokkien I thought it's just a Singaporean thing, so like they really integrate, and I didn't care about the Hokkien part, and I didn't care about like whether my grandfather was a Chinese. And next, I would like to talk about their clothing. What the Peranakans usually wear. The guys, they call babas, B-A-B-A, and they usually wear their common stuff like suits and traditional Chinese clothes. But however, special thing about the women is they wear. Oh, this one is one of the Peranakan dressing, like the normal kind, and this is the full body. They usually wear kebayas. It's an integration between the Malays and the Chinese. The Malays traditional kebayas. Actually, this is like my great grandmother. Yeah. Okay. Next, I'm going to talk about food. Peranakan food. Who's a foodie here? Woo! Okay. So this, all of you know, is like the Chinese will call it kueh bakchang. Yeah, but in Peranakan they call it kueh chang. It's almost similar and it's a bit similar with the normal bakchang, but they put a lot of like a bit of colorings on their bakchang. And this is their next food, which is ayam buah keluak. They use more to a spiciness food, and you will see it's really nice. And lastly, Nyonya Kueh, yeah, it's really nice. And my project, and I will conclude this speech with, you can see like there's Chinese and Malay combined together and become a new subculture called Peranakan. Thank you.